What's going on, Internet? Iron Jordan here. So, I know what you might be thinking. Didn't this say budget deck profile? Why are there three Novas, a Zeus, and three Imperms in this deck? Well, I'll tell you as we get into it. I would give you guys budget options for all of these cards that you're looking at. They're actually down there in the sideboard if you want to just do some previews there. But this list that you see in front of you is the exact list that I have built in paper, and it has been working fantastically for anybody trying to play a pure Drytron strategy without Megalith, without Vendread, without fairies. This is the perfect list for you. I am absolutely in love with this deck. And no, disclaimer, it's not going to set up the same boards as the fairy version with Diviner, but Diviner's like $90 right now, guys. You don't want to spend $90 on Diviner. We're playing budget. So look, Diviner's gonna get banned at some point. We all know it. We're gonna go to this anyway. So let's just get ahead of the trend. On top of that, this deck is no slouch. It can very easily set up 6 interruptions if you play the deck correctly. Now, I will say this version is a little bit more difficult than the fairy version. I think the fairy version has a very like linear combo, whereas this makes you think a little bit better. And I actually like that as somebody who tortures themselves learning new DDD combos every other week, which there will be a video on that deck eventually, I guess, if you guys want to see it. But as somebody who really loves combo and really loves figuring out combo and playing combo and just all the intricacies and playing around hand traps and stuff like that, this version is perfect. So, without further ado, let's first talk about our sponsor. I know I said without any further ado, but the sponsor comes first, guys. I'm sorry. As always, we are sponsored by Meta Monster Gaming. If you are looking for Yu-Gi-Oh, DBS, Dragon Ball, I said DBS and then Dragon Ball. I meant to say Digimon, Magic the Gathering, any other card game singles, you can find them at their TCG Player link below in the description box. You can also find them on Facebook if you want to follow them. I also have their Instagram tagged in the description as well. On top of that, if you want to order anything from their TCG Player store and you want a little cha-ching off, a little cha-ching, I meant to say cha-ching, but I've been playing too much Genshin, so I said ka-ching. If you want a little bit of money off your order, you can enter the code IronJordan5 at your checkout to save 5%. Thank you, MetaMonster Game, for supporting the channel, and thank you, viewer, for taking the time to listen to me shill. I don't get to do it very often. So, now into the deck profile. All the preambles out of the way. I promise it will be fast. We're going to play 3 of all the good Drytrons: 3 Alpha, 3 Zeta, 3 Gamma, and 3 Delta. Mostly the reason why we're playing 3 of all the good Drytrons is because you need to see 2 names in your hand to do full combo, straight up. That's just how it goes. Next, we're playing 2 of the big boy. I think the fairy version's already playing one of these to turn on Mu Beta Fafnir, but this is also your main win condition. And having your boss monster in your deck is just it's just really fun. Ask dinosaurs, man. This guy kills UTC. It's really really great. It's fantastic. Uh, After UTC's uses effect, that is. But 2 Meteorus Drytron. We're playing 2 of the ritual spells simply because we're playing pure. We don't want to get one of them banished and then not have our deck be playable now, do we? So yeah, 2 of those. This card's about $10 right now. It's the most expensive card in the main deck after the budget considerations. So after we talk about how to replace Nova and Imperm, this will be the most expensive card in the main deck. And the main deck comes in after you take those cards out at around $40. Next, we have 2 Drytron Fafnirs. This searches for any of your Drytron spells and traps. Usually, we use it as our 4th and 5th copy of Nova. However, if you already hard draw a Nova, you can go get Asterium, you can go get Meteor Shower, you can also go get the Ritual Spell if you really want to. Speaking of Nova, we know what this card does. We love it. Special summons a Drytron directly from the deck. This card's insane, but if you cannot afford this card, never fear. You have Foolish Burial. This card is a common. It does basically the same thing. It dumps a Drytron into your graveyard. Drytrons activate their effect in the graveyard, which means that a Drytron in your graveyard is essentially in your hand anyway. There you go. Where Art Thou? If you control a Drytron or a level 1, we are playing Effect Failure. You can add a level 1 from your deck to your hand, but you will take 2,000 damage at the end of your turn because you are not going to normal summon the Drytron unless you decide to search Effect Failure and normal summon it. I mean, you could do that, I guess. I guess if you have an Effect Veiler in your hand already, you can add another copy of Effect Veiler and then summon the other one. I don't know why you would do that, but you can technically do that. Next, we have Beta. This card really sucks, but it's another Drytron name, and that's essentially what Nova is as well. So this is just kind of like an extremely discounted Nova. So play these 3 cards if you can't afford Nova. Moving on from the Drytron engine, continuing the Drytron engine, we have Asterium. What does this card do? Well, it's essentially Dryden. You neg 1,000 attack from one of your monsters, and it pops one of your opponent's face-up monsters. It's just super good because it's a quick play spell. Then we have a searchable Solemn Warning in Drytron Meteor Shower. This is typically what I search out whenever I already have a Nova in hand, because I know that Zeta is going to get me to the Ritual Spell, so I don't typically need to search for the Ritual Spell off of Fafnir. But yeah, this card's super good if you control a ritual monster, any ritual monster. It doesn't even have to be a Drytron monster. It's just a counter trap that negates the summon and shuffles the monster back into the deck. It's super good. Moving on from the Drytron engine, it's 23 cards, so it is a very pure, literally over half the deck is Drytron cards. We have a White Knight of Dogmatica. This card's actually insane. I was playing Chaos Mats at first to kind of punish, but Chaos Mats doesn't do anything going first. This does, and on top of that, this has a lot of synergy with the Ritual spell, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. It says you cannot special summon monsters with the extra deck. Okay, that kind of sucks, but if you just end on this guy, it doesn't really matter that much. If your opponent activates a card or effect, except during the damage step, you add one monster, send one monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. We are playing Entes. If you do, lead your opponent's extra deck and send one monster to their graveyard. Their Zeus, gone. Their Dragoon, gone. Their Anaconda, gone. This card gains attack equal to half the combined attack of the monsters into the graveyard. So if you send two monsters with 3,000 attack, he gains 3,000 attack. Because it would be 6,000 cut in half. So he can get kind of big. Until the end of the turn. You can only activate this effect of White Knight Dogmatica once per turn, so it does activate on both players' turns. So if your opponent, like, it's really good because if your opponent activates something like Prosperity or like Extravagance at the start of the main phase, you can shotgun this effect and go, okay, cool. I'm gonna send, I don't know, my Wind Pegasus or something, and then I'm gonna take a look at your extra deck and go, oh, cool, you're playing Zeus, now I know what I need to stop. Or oh, cool, you're playing Dragonlance, I know what I need to stop now. It gives you information instantly. It's valuable sometimes. This card's insane though. I definitely recommend you play this card. On top of that, the synergy with the ritual spell that I was talking about earlier is that when you add the ritual spell back off of a Drytron monster, you neg 1,000 the Drytron monster's attack, and it goes to 1,000. This card has 500 attack. You can just use that Drytron monster that you added this back with to summon this from your hand or your graveyard, and it's just super good. Our only normal summon, or the only real normal summon in our deck, is Mandrew with 10,000 hands. He adds any of our ritual monsters or our ritual spell. It's just super good. 3 copies of a Fed Veiler. This is your hand trap spot. This can really be whatever you want it to be. It could be Ash if you want. I just wanted it to be a level 1 monster for being able to make Mu Beta Fafnir, because if you have the ability to summon a 1 Drytron monster from your hand, like if you drew a bunch of rituals and a Drytron and a Fed Veiler, you can still make Mu Beta Fafnir and unbrick your hand, which is fantastic. This could also be DD Crow or any of the other level 1 hand traps. I think Droll and Lockbird is a level 1. I don't own any Droll and Lockbird, so I'm not sure myself. But yeah. Then we play 3 copies of Cyber Emergency. It is essentially just the 7th, 8th, and 9th copy of any Drytron monster in your deck. 1 callback because we don't want to get Droll and Lockbird. 3 Dogmatica Punishments. We're already playing the end tests and stuff, so we might as well play these. And then 3 imperms. The imperms can just be stripes if you can't afford imperms, but I wanted a second hand trap to back up the Effect Veiler because the Effect Veiler is very niche in today's meta. So, but yeah, that is the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. Now, I'm sorry guys, there's not budget options for everything in the extra deck, but like I said, the main deck is under $40 if you use the budget considerations, so it shouldn't be too difficult to change some of these cards out and keep you under $100. First of all, 1 copy of Mu Beta Fafnir is mandatory. I play 2 because sometimes the second one comes up, but 1 is mandatory. This card's about $23, $24 right now, so you're still under $100, no problem. You can place one of these with another Wind Pegasus if you really want to. You don't need the Assembled Nightingale if you're not going to play Zeus, so you can replace those with Cleaford, Genius, and Unicorn, but that's what they're here for. It's literally just to make Zeus if you can't kill your opponent on turn 3. Your turn 2, that is. 3 Entesses, 1 Wind Pegasus, 1 Gamma. I'm sorry, Omega. I always think Gamma because Psyframes. I hate Psyframes. We used to have a guy at Locals who played pure Psyframes, and it was just the most annoying, not very good deck. But 1 Omega. 1 Link Kribo. This card is absolutely essential. It's just so good for being able to make turn 1 plays. Sometimes you get stuck with a Drytron on board and you really need it in a graveyard to activate its effect, and Link Kribo takes care of that right away. You have Relinquished Anima. This is very good going second. IP Masquerena. There's no real replacement for this card. It's about $20 right now. As is Relinquished Anima, actually, now that I think about it. You have about $60 in extra deck that you are kind of mandatorily needing. But yeah, IP Masquerena is just super good, and get it for any of your other decks. You will not regret buying this card if you can get it cheap enough. The Nightmares, and then a Boral Sword, because access code is better, but who can afford access code? Not me, so we're not playing yet. Now, we're going to move on to some test hands and see if I can not mess it up this time, because, fun fact, I've recorded this video once or twice and messed up the test hand a couple times, because I was too busy trying to talk and not doing the combo. Oh boy, this is not a playable hand. I'll tell you. Or maybe it is. We'll see what we can do here. We'll see what we can do. What realistically can we do with this hand? Honestly, what can we realistically do? We can add an alpha. An alpha can pitch. Alpha can pitch here, summon itself, and then add another copy of the big guy. Right. So add another copy of the big guy, and then we activate Meteor and Drytron, and we're gonna summon the guy from the grave. We're gonna pitch this guy. Summon here. Cool. We got that guy out. We're gonna activate Meteor and Drytron. We're gonna add it back to our hand by giving this guy negative 1,000. Then we're going to make a Link Karibo coming up big. We're going to set Call By and we're going to set Dogmatica Punishment. This is not the best board. You have two pops here. You have up to two pops here. You have a Call By and you have a Link Karibo. I mean, like, it has disruptions, but it's not the best hand. Let's see if we can get another one. This hand is a lot better. This hand is a lot better. So first of all, we're going to activate this, and we're going to get us a copy of Alpha. Alpha is super good here. We're going to activate Alpha, and we're going to send Gamma to the grave. Summoning here. Effect to add here. We're going to activate Delta's effect here. We're going to get us a little card draw. Hopefully we draw into like a Zeta. That'd be really nice. Just realized we don't have a way to get to Zeta. We'll activate Gamma. We will pitch here. Summon here. We do have a way to get to Gamma because Mu Beta Fafnir exists. Look at that. I'm not doing as well under these circumstances because I am very bad at comboing while I am on the mic. Activate Zeta here. Zeta's effect. We're gonna add the ritual spell. Activate the ritual spell. We're gonna use the Zeta that's on board, and then we'll use one of the guys underneath. So we'll use the Gamma. We'll summon here. And this is a much better board. This is not insane by any means, but this is still quite a few disruptions. And the boards do get crazier from here. I'm very bad at this deck because I kind of just threw this together a couple of weeks ago and have been playtesting with it. But these boards are not bad, as you can see. You have a Spell or Trap negation. You have two Monster Sends. You have a Monster Negate here and here. And you have a Called By. So this is honestly like a pretty good board. So let me know what you guys think about this. There's definitely, I really, it sucks that unfortunately, unlike the unlike the Ice Barrier deck, the Hand Shuffler doesn't really want to work with me that well on showing off this particular deck. But I promise it can make way more impressive boards. You'll have to take my word for it. I've very frequently been able to end on an IP Masquerena, a White Knight Dogmatica, a Meteornus Drytron, the big or Draconids, the Meteornus Draconids guy. And a Mu Beta Fafnir with a back row, which has been kind of insane. And anytime you end on that kind of board, barring a Dark Ruler no more, it's kind of GG's. And even then, sometimes it's still GG's. I've actually had games where I end on both these cards in the back row, the Spell and Trap in the back row, and I end on Draconids and Mu Beta Fafnir. My opponent Dark Rulers me, and I still just destroy their turn because I had an Effect Veiler in hand, I had a Meteor Shower set, and I had an Asterium set. And so I was able to disrupt 3 of their plays right away and to just shut down their entire turn after the Dark Ruler. So yeah, that's the deck profile. Sorry this one went a little long, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been really loving this deck. This is probably my favorite deck to play in paper right now. This and Burning Abyss, which we will have a Burning Abyss profile for sure coming up very, very soon. So keep your eyes peeled on that. But I promise if you're here for DBS content, first of all, thank you for staying and watching the video this long, but we'll get you guys up next. So I'm going to stop rambling. I appreciate you guys watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.